The time has come, Mets fans. The time has come. I have been preaching to the choir for weeks, for literally months, going all the way since the start of the season, why the Mets will be circling back to Erick Fedde, the man that David Stearns tried landing so bad this past offseason as a true starter option, signs with the White Sox instead on a 2-year deal, a sure guaranteed role in that rotation. And Fedde and Garrett Crochet have went on to be one of the better 1-2 punches in all Major League Baseball this season. Fedde, who I talked at great length earlier on the channel today after Kodai Senga went down with a season-ending calf strain, which still guts me as I am saying this. I'm recording this right now at 8 p.m. Eastern, July 27th. And I told you how there are a lot of starter options. Not a lot, but there are some out there that make sense for the Mets. And Erick Fedde has looked like, to an absolute T, a prime fit for the Metropolitans. Now we have the latest reporting from Joel Sherman to confirm exactly that. The Mets are active in the starting pitching market as a surprise absolutely nobody, you could rightfully say. And they are involved with Fedde. In this article that I will have linked down below in the description for you all to check out whenever you get a chance, the Mets have officially called the White Sox about Erick Fedde and the prospect of acquiring the veteran right-hander. I know your initial reactions, Mets fans, are going to be either A, yes, sign me up because I've been informed on Fedde. I know how good he's not only been this season, but I know that this isn't a fluke because this goes directly in hand with his adjustments from the KBO. Or you fall in the category of I have no clue who Erick Fedde is, which is okay. That's why I'm here to inform. Or you fall in the category of I know Erick Fedde, but only during his time with the Washington Nationals, who's batting practice then. He's clearly going to be batting practice now. I don't care about the 2024 numbers. And all those guys and gals out there, I got a bridge to sell you because you're making the wrong decision denouncing the idea of Erick Fedde coming to Queens. It's a greater opportunity now than ever. The Mets are seeking the man the way that I've been seeking the man since David Stearns has been seeking the man. Let's break down everything you guys got to know about Erick Fedde and what he could bring to this Metropolitan rotation. But before we do, hit that like and subscribe button on your way in for your number one stop shop for all things Mets news, rumors, post-game shows, everything in between. We are covering everything to a T, as we always do here at WardyNYM, leading up to the trade deadline, in which we have a boatload of content coming out from now up until that point. And again, thank you all so much, as always, for also hearing from our amazing sponsor on the channel that many of you guys know very well, America's #1 sportsbook, yes, BetUS. And as you guys and gals can see with BetUS, I am going to show you my current slate that I have for UFC tonight. Again, at the time of recording this Saturday, we are just a couple hours away from fight night here in the UK for the UFC, with a couple title defenses with guys like Tom Aspinall that's defending his title, Leon Edwards, among others. And you got Paddy Pimblett in there and plenty of others to break down. I'm a big fight fan, so again, if you guys are going to bet responsibly, if you want to tail some bets, listen up here. And again, make sure you do what our great friends at BetUS to sign up today and get 125% bonus. Not your first, not your second, but your first 3 deposits. And I didn't want to focus on a baseball slates. I really want to focus on UFC. One good cards are happening, and this is a solid one for sure. Curtis Blades versus Tom Aspinall. Obviously, I'm going with Aspinall here for my fight fans. You know how good Tom Aspinall is. He's arguably the fastest heavyweight that you're going to find out there right now. His striking is fantastic. His ground and pound is great. I love him. Even with Curtis Blades, how crafty he can be as a striker, I just think that this is going to match up well for Tom Aspinall to secure the victory and secure his title once again. Paddy Pimblett, while I'm far from impressed with Paddy at the UFC level, and I think that this is a coin flip because they're in the UK and because there's always bias involved with these kind of things, and Paddy has already robbed the UFC of a victory once or twice already this year where Dana White disagreed. I'm actually going to go with Paddy because he's the hometown favorite and because I know that he's going to have some bias on his side from the judges. Then we got Mo Cave, who's an absolute dog coming off of a big injury. Love him there in this matchup. Arnold Allen as well. Really like him. Again, he's a guy that has been a little up and down the past couple of years, but a consistent fighter as well. And last but not least, Molly McCann, who is also a money line favorite here because she is a UK favorite as well. I am going against the favorite here because Molly McCann, in my humble opinion, is far from a fighter that deserves to ever have a money line slate at minus 133. It's only because 330, I should say. It's only because of where they are in the UK and because she's best friends with Paddy. I'm actually going to go with Bruno Brasil. Even if I lose on this one, I'm trusting my gut with it. So again, we got a crazy multi-leg parlay here, folks. And this multi-leg parlay is 10. That's going to win you $154. So again, if you want to sprinkle a little bit, go ahead. Just make sure you guys and gals bet responsibly with our friends at BetUS. But now let's hop right back into breaking down all the key info that you need to know here on Erick Fedde, because again, if you guys have been following along, you know how I feel about Erick Fedde. I've been preaching to acquire for so long now why he makes endless sense for the Mets here. He's not going to cost you as much as some, say, a Garrett Crochet's teammate would, a Tarek Skubal, obviously, maybe even a Jack Flaherty. He's not going to cost you as much. Even with Flaherty being a rental, Flaherty is the better overall pitcher between himself and Fedde currently standing this season, and Fedde is going to cost a decent haul of prospect return for a rental versus Fedde, who's effective as a middle of the rotation starter right now. That would slot him beautifully and still has another year left of control, which I'm sure David Stearns, who really liked Fedde this past offseason, wouldn't be opposed to. And to break it down a little bit further here, not just the numbers that I relayed for you all right there, let's take a little bit further of a deep dive at Fedde's baseball savant page. This is my second time doing it today, but I have to do it again today because the Mets are finally officially connected to the man that I've been longing for all season long when talking about starting pitching options. It just makes way too much sense. The same way on the reliever front, I think it makes a lot of sense why the Mets are connected to flamethrower Luis Garcia. Check that video out. It actually came out in a live stream format over the past hour at the time of recording this because I combined it with my post-game coverage, and I just cut the post-game then because Mets lost 4-0. There wasn't much to say. McGill was great through the first 10 batters, then gave up 3 home runs, and the Mets had no offense to show against Schwellenbach, and that's that. So that's all you got to know in the recap. But getting on now to a little bit more on the savant numbers here that we see with Erick Fedde. 94th percentile in pitching run value, 95th percentile in fastball run value, 76th there in breaking run value, right around middle of the pack in off speed, 60th in expected ERA, expected batting average just above league average, and fastball velocity 34th percentile because he's a soft tosser. He just throws around 93 miles per hour. That average exit velocity 67 miles per hour, not 67, I'm sorry, 67 percentile rather. Chase percentage and whip percentage are down. He doesn't get guys to chase and whip all that much, but that's because Erick Fedde is not a strikeout pitcher. He is a ground ball pitcher through and through. That's what he's looking for, and he commands a strike zone fairly well with a 71 walk percentage a season, a barrel percentage just above league average. So he's not getting hard hit terribly with a 68 percentile, so very strong there actually. Ground ball percentage 62nd percentile, and extension 74th. So Erick Fedde, what you're getting is a guy that will throw you his sinker more often than not. That cutter, which certainly has been very effective for him this year. That sweeper, which has been huge for him and his success that we have seen this season. That sweeper has been that big put-out pitch that we have noticed for Erick Fedde this year that I absolutely love. 20% of the arsenal for him, sitting around 84 miles per hour. The cutter is sitting around 90 at 30% of the arsenal, 30% with the sinker at 93, and the changeup at 88. So Erick Fedde, again, a guy that is going to cost you some assets for sure, but with the White Sox being such a perfect trade partner as is, I say go a step further, David Stearns. If you're talking to the White Sox about Erick Fedde, I know you're talking to them about Garrett Crochet, even if that isn't likely. I know you're bringing up Tanner Banks. I know you're bringing up Michael Kopech. I know you're bringing up John Brebbia, right? Because the White Sox are a near perfect trade partner for the Mets to acquire everything they're looking for on the pitching end. Sure, guaranteed on the starting pitching option, and for anyone that's saying Erick Fedde isn't a great option, guys, if Erick Fedde was on the Mets right now, he would arguably be their best starter paired with Luis Severino. So I don't want to hear the nonsense of, oh, we don't need him. We absolutely need him, and we need length. Something that guys like Sean Manaea, Jose Quintana, and then we have the Tyler Miguels, etc., provide very little of on the average every 5th or 6th day start. That's just how it goes. Erick Fedde is more of a short guaranteed thing for what you're getting right now this season. Understands the NL East very well during his time with the Nationals. And again, I think that plays in his favor, understanding this market, kind of what to expect, even though it was from an outsider's point of view. Now he would be on the right side with an electric atmosphere at Citi Field and with the Mets in a held front line in this rotation with Severino, Manaea, Quintana, and then everyone else that we currently have involved. David Peterson, Tower McGill, and obviously if the Mets will add another starter, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to adding someone better than Fedde and a Skubal and a Crochet and a Flaherty, but everyone comes at a price, and that is exactly why David Stearns has to play this smartly the way he typically does as a very smart pobo that he is, and what we've seen already throughout the transactions throughout the season. What is next in store for the Mets here in Queens? Well, I firmly believe it's going to be to acquire at least one starter. Erick Fedde is towards the top of my list. I wonder if he's towards the top of yours as well, or if he's nowhere close. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, everybody. How do you feel about Erick Fedde coming to Queens here as a starting pitching option, especially now that Kodai Senga is out for the remainder of the season? Whatever your thoughts are, drop them down below. Stay tuned as we will have you covered with all different things in Mets land in the coming days. Post-game, news, rumors, reports, you name it, we got you covered. And this is your guy, Wardy, signing out. Have a fantastic rest of your night, day, evening, whenever you're watching this. And I'll talk to you guys again real soon. Peace out, everybody.